I had different plans for how I will structure my stereo mind, but actually this one is a bit a lecture I wanted to do later, but in the end I think is very important for me to do at first. So we will go straight to the point. It's about preparing yourself before taking trades. So you know that our job as traders is to take decisions. And in our life, we always take decisions, okay? I will take an example by giving this image of us driving. So if you're not a morning person, but you need to wake up very early, you need to maybe drive to an office. Let's say that we are just this person going to an office. Yeah, darkness and waking up is not so much your thing, but still you are forced to take the car. You need to take decision going right and left, but you know that your reflex and your ability to take the decision as quick are not very easy. So yeah, now we have a technology of having a GPS and so on. But you know for a fact that every morning, if you're not well awake and not feeling good, you are taking risks for your life and also for the other drivers. You will maybe be a better person if you will take time in the morning and let's say start to drive at 11 or even drive in the afternoon where you're more alert because you are able to know your right to left, you are able to have your reflex in case something comes up in front of your car very quickly, like an animal, a deer, for example, such things like that. We also know that, for example, if you feel bad in a moment of your life, let's say you had a bad event, a trauma, an anxiety, you have depression, you usually tend to take decisions that are not very good for you, and you are not able to take decisions at all. And you need to get better for it to pass and get better decisions. All this to say that when we start trading, in some way it's very easy, like you just open your screen, look at charts and see what's up. But the thing is that it needs to be much more subtle. It's a work you are doing and you are taking a decision that, doesn't risk your life compared to it risks your portfolio, it risks your money. And if it doesn't yet, well, you need to consider it as it does. But there are many perspectives of that. Like for example, if you start a business by yourself, let's say any entrepreneurship per se, you need to take risk. You need to take a decision that you want to take one risk. So for a shop owner, like I like to get this example a lot, it will be to take a loan to potentially rent a space, let's say in the center of your town, to open a shop. Like you take a risk of taking a loan to be able to rent, to be able to buy, let's say, the supply for your warehouse, whatever it is. Like you make an upfront investment that is a risk to potentially get a better return on investment. It's exactly the same if you do an online business. It depends also, obviously, the condition. Many of online business now can be starting without nothing, and what you will invest and risk is your time. But in most of business, you will risk and invest your time and your money. On trading, you can start and you do paper trading, or you start with few, or you start with a demo account with a funded account. You still need to put on yourself that you are doing a risk investment, your future. Well, the first risk investment you are doing is time, because you might spend a lot of time in front of the charts, but might spend a lot of time trying to find your strategy, trying to find a way to be profitable. That takes a lot of time. It needs to worth it. So through the years, like I've been able to make myself get better and understand the conditions that I needed to be at the best of my performance. So I just want to share it to you. I will also share with this lecture different content, even scientific studies about the rhythm of the heart and stuff like that is quite important. So let me keep that straight. I make sure that I start trading if I am good enough to feel like I will take a decision. Through the years, I tried a lot of things, such as during night for Asian sessions. So it was around, let's say, midnight, 1, 2 for me. I did that a lot with crypto, for example. I tried London, I tried New York, I tried even the evening for me, which is afternoon of New York. And I know a panel of where I've been the most efficient. I can tell you that Asia was quite alright depending of the night. New York was usually difficult. Also at the time, I was very busy with another business I had. I have still, but now I don't have to take care about it so much. And it was just difficult. Afternoons for me, I'm usually want to chill. I'm crashing sometimes because I don't know, many things after sports, after taking care of a lot of things. And nowadays now I have my kids, so I want to be with them. And afternoon is it's just like that. So I'm not the best at this moment. I am the best at the morning. I'm a very morning person. I wake up and feel good, refreshed. And if I don't, I usually avoid trading. And it's very important because it makes you make mistakes, simply as that. Now we do have some tricks, I will say, for us to be able to feel better before trading. And it's very important that before you open your screen and before you are in front of your chart, that you prepare yourself in accordance to be at your maximum for being able to take good trades and also being prepared to have losing trades. You need to prepare for yourself mentally for such kind of things. Now that you established you've been honest with yourself and you establish your time frame of when you are able to look at charts and take decisions, then you're good. So if you take it in the morning and you're not a morning person, just because you heard that London session was good, then you are doing a mistake because you are not following your routine of body and of mind. You need to have a clear mind. Also, I will notice you that it's important to take care of our mind because in trading, as long as you are anxious or you are sensitive to stress or things like depression, it's very difficult to be consistent in your actions. And it's not to criticize, it's something I tell you from experience. When I was younger, I did experience a lot of anxiety and depression due to different events in my life. And I have to say that this has led me to a lot of mistakes. So if I will redo it, now that I feel to my maximum, honestly, I feel good right now. I feel fulfilled, at least in my ability to take decision and to feel good in my life in general day to day. And I'm very grateful for that. But it was if I would redo it, like I said, I would take care of roots earlier than before. I took trading back then when I was feeling quite bad as the thing that might make me feel better, which actually was not the case. Like I was always looking for something external. So it can be, I'll buy this new thing, or I'll get trading, I'll make money, therefore I'll get better. And it was such a big mistake. So at some point I needed to find out what was up, and I needed to take care of myself. So there are different ways, and I'm not here to tell you how to heal your issues because we are all individuals, all unique, and we have different needs. But what I can give you is different things I did, and hopefully it can help you to maybe get a bit better in any way. So this will be mostly things that I'm sharing to you that is very effective for me for before preparing for a trade. So the first thing I'm doing is that when I wake up, I make sure to not open any screen for at least an hour. I make sure to be present, to be calm, be present with my wife, my kids, prepare them a breakfast, but I don't want to have my head in the chart. I'm usually like trying to be very present with what I'm doing. It can be silly, but if you do, let's say, the dishwashing, like washing up and just feeling the water on your hands and stuff, like I'm trying to be extra conscious of everything that's around me. just to have a calm peace of mind. The goal is that before I go to the screen, and now that I'm streaming, now that I have to answer to a lot of people and stuff, like I really need to make sure that my beat per minute of my heart rate is quite slow, is quite steady. I don't want it to be too stressed and to give to my body something like really too pushing when I need my whole adrenaline in case to my trading. So that's the first thing. I make sure to not look at my screen an hour prior before I'm going to trade, and at least for the first hour of my day. And if it's the weekend, I usually do 2 hours minimum before opening anything. This is better for clearing your mind. I used to be a coffee addict before. I did stop now. It's been some months. And I have to say that I'm much more efficient without it. So I've been reading studies about it, and obviously caffeine has good benefits for us and has also bad ones. The only problem with it is that it's a stimulant, and stimulant can get quick reaction that we maybe don't want. And usually a sign where we've been abusing coffee is when, we take coffee, but we still feel like we could not wake up or stuff like that. So it means that our body is like trying to push the few energy we have, but there is none. So I went through also this path of avoiding stimulants in the morning, and now I do that full time. But you don't have to. At least trying to make sure that you're not trying to boost your body with an external thing, but instead take the energy you have within you for a good thing. Our bodies are made to be bodies for us, healthy functioning bodies. I understand that all of us might have problems. We all have different problems, but our body is designed and made for being good for us at this point. And normally when we wake up, we are supposed to be able to have, at least the body is supposed to give us the resources that we need at that given moment. So sometimes it's less resources, sometimes it's more. It depends of our moment of life. But one thing is sure is that we need to, for us as trader, to take our energy and not external energy to take a decision. It's very important. So there is not only caffeine here, but there is also sugar. And it's very important because blood sugar can make us a lot of different emotions, waves in our body where we can react differently. Let's say it can pump you up, but it can also make you very tired in the moment. You don't really know how your blood sugar will react at this moment. Maybe you don't notice it because you're an healthy person, but if you really pay attention, let's say you will eat a very sweet thing like dates or take a Pepsi Coke thing, you will try to be present and try to notice the difference, and you will ultimately notice that there is some reaction that your body is taking. And blood sugar can very quickly make you able to get mad very quickly and stuff like that. So what I do, for example, is that I'm a morning person and I'm trading in the morning. I do prepare breakfast to my family, but I don't take breakfast. I avoid any sweet things. I don't take coffee. I just drink water. Personally, I take water with lemon, but it doesn't matter. It's not, I don't have a recipe. I'm just saying to you what worked for me, and you can take whatever you want towards it. And of course, takes it if only you see a problem. But because if you are a trader and feel that you don't have any problem, you trade well in the morning or whatever, and what time you don't see anything that should be changed in this subject, then you're fine. But stimulants, and so sugar, caffeine, tea also is the same. Stuff like that, I usually avoid them before trading. I try to be as quote-unquote pure as possible while taking decision. It helps you to get focus, and the fact I'm not taking a breakfast is because I'm also doing fasting. So fasting has been in my culture and my family for ages. for a different reason that I will not mention here because it doesn't matter for you, but it has been here. And I've been enjoying the benefits of it through the years, obviously. And one of them is that the fact of being empty stomach in the morning gives me and gives you normally at some point, if you never did this at the moment, of course it can feel a bit weird. So you might want to have this feeling of want to eat. But for example, for me, I'm in this stage where I just feel like empty but fully focused on other things than wanting to eat or wanting to be feeling filled. I'm doing my sport also like that. And trading with fasting, it's really helped me. But after, if you do like me and you trade 1 hour or two, you're free to take breakfast and stuff. Like I'm doing this after, usually. And it really, I will put content about all these things, caffeine, fasting, and stuff like that. And then you do whatever you want. Again, I'm just saying what works for me, and take something if you want to, and don't take if you don't want at all. The other thing is to regulate our heart rate. And you can do this through a breathing system. I know the name in French, but not in English. It's basically to simply breathe in for 5 seconds and breathe out for 5 seconds. So if you have an Android, I remember they do have an inner thing with Samsung, I think, where when you manage and take the heart rate with your finger, they also have a function called stress. And if you click on that, you can have a breathing exercise with a noise, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe out, and you have a sound, and you do that for 5 minutes. If you don't have it on iPhone, you can have an app, and or you can just count in your head. So it's like breathe in for 5 seconds, so breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has nothing to do with New Age, it's not yoga or anything. It's actually purely science-based. It's for you to do that for 3 to 5 minutes to regulate your heartbeat. So if you had a rough morning, if you feel a bit fuzzy or whatever, there's big chance that your heart is like beating a bit faster. I usually make sure that before I'm going to the charts, in front of my screen for 5 minutes, closing my eyes, and I'm breathing. It makes me able to just chill out, like just breathe and have my mind at peace in present moment. And present moment is very important to have. You want to be aware of the present and not trying to block yourself or escape yourself to your minds, to your confusion, to your overthinking, mostly while trading and thinking different things. Ideally, you could avoid also Discord while you are trading if you feel that it confuses you. And if it doesn't and you are able to speak with others and during that time, it's completely fine. While you are breathing at this moment, it's also important that you could, it's suggestion again, and that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to really visualize me winning a trade and how that will feel, and trying to stay as calm as possible, and me losing and staying as calm as possible. But just to have a feeling, if you suggest this thing in your brain, it's like you thinking of, like, try to think of a very good moment in your life, and it will most likely make you laugh or smile. And if you think of something very sad that happened, it will make you sad. It's the same thing that you are doing here, is that you will suggest feelings that you might encounter during your day of trading, and it will prepare you, expose you to those things. The only thing is that you will suggest to your mind that you will be calm no matter the outcomes. And I hope that's how you feel. I've been emotional once. I canceled orders and the price went completely up, and I reacted with you guys. I just reacted, but laugh in a laughing way, but that was my most reaction. But I think if you've been following me now on the streams for trading, you realize how calm I can be. If I lose or if I lose or win, usually my reaction is kind of the same. And you want to try to, just as much you want to be calm when you lose, you don't want to get overexcited for winning. You want to be able to be in a mindset where it's not like you don't want to be satisfied with your win, but you want to go into the next win. Each win are a step, but it's not the final outcome. So you want to really keep your feet on the ground and aim for the next one. That's all the time like that. I'm always thinking of me doing a new step, and no matter the step I'm doing, I'm on to the next one already. So that's why journaling is good, because our brain is very, at least for me, very easily I can forget what I'm doing. So I'm journaling it, because once a week, once a month, depending of my mood, I'm going through my journal. But it's good for you in the mind that like you just go into the next trade, go into the next win, go into the next loss. But what you need to make sure is that all in this in between, your mind is. You also need to make rules, and this we've been talking about it. The nice thing with rules is that you know what to expect. No matter who we are, of course, you can be more used to it and all. Me, for example, my lifestyle is I'm traveling a lot, okay? I've been moving to a lot of countries. I've been trying to push myself, my boundaries and my comfort level. But still, despite that, it's important for me sometimes that, and mostly in trading actually, that my brain knows what to expect. And I do a routine or set myself a rule of what to expect for trading. So as you see, I'm trading like 1 hour in the morning, and then I will spend some time here and there to spot for trades that goes in the 1 hour chart. At max, I will trade 2 hours a day, do the scalping like 2 full hours. And I know that also if I lose 2 times, I'm out, because I don't want to overreact or do stupid shit. So that's very good to have for your brain, because you know what to expect and you want to do the best for the limit that is given to you. It gives you limits, yes, but it will give you a lot of freedom to play your maximum at that given moment. Also, and that will be the last thing I will mention here, that now you will be able to do whatever you want of the rest. I hope this was helpful, at least for this lecture, to give you a bit my idea and how I function with trading and before trading mostly, is to, once you take a trade, if you're not scalping, to make sure that you are leaving the charts. So if you do the classic baguette, you take a decision to, no matter the decision it is, accept. And mostly when you start and you are a beginner or you are new to trying to be profitable, because you can be not new to trading, but new to try to seriously make it, you need to make sure to accept the loss and accept the win no matter what happens. I would strongly recommend that if you decide to take a choice of trading and you're like, okay, if it goes to that price, I'm losing. If it goes to that price, I'm winning. And you stick to it. So that's not what I'm doing right now, but for me, I am in a position where I'm not very emotional towards my trades. So I can look at it here and there and be like, okay, I'll move my stop here, I'll move my stop there. But usually at the beginning, and when I say beginning, it's the 3, 4, 5 years, first 5 years, where you can look at entries in an emotional way because you really want it to work. And you're afraid that maybe like you lose because you are on a funded account, you have this limit of percentage, and your mind is just like trying to trick you all the time about this. And then you go in this spiral where you look at the charts or think about the charts all the time because you're in a trade. So I would strongly recommend that you, from the beginning, and you should say it with your word, like with words to yourself. And that will be also the last point, the self-talk thing, where you should say, okay, I risk, let's say, you need to risk something that feels all right. So if you're a funded account, that doesn't matter if you do evaluation or not, just decide to take a risk you don't mind to lose. But now that you know that, do your trade, put your stop where your stop is, Put your TP where your TP should be and let it be until it touches somewhere. And see the outcomes actually. And you will see that the outcome most of the time, if you're not too bad obviously, will go to your TP most of the time. And you will realize quickly, and this is a good exercise to do, I did this for a long time, you will realize that your trade usually goes to your way. And this goes, again, not for scalping. Please don't do that for scalping. Do that when you trade like classic baguettes, 1 hour time frame. You will see that most of the time it will go to the winning side. And so what stops you? What stops you to get break even all the time or to get so? That's actually your mind, it's your self-talk. But there are different self-talk. There is the brain self-talk, and many times it can be toxic. And there is also the good self-talk, which is you open your mouth like I'm doing right now and you talk. So yeah, it can sound a bit crazy, like you talk to yourself, but when you are in the charts, when you see something, you see a retracement, you see different candles, talk like, because like this, your brain will print better than what you will talk in your mind. You want to make sure that your brain is printing what you are seeing in the present moment instead of trying to make a scenario of what could happen, because that's what usually happens. You see something in the chart, you want to expect charts to go some way, and that's what you are expecting. You're expecting something you didn't see yet. And when you self-talk about what you see in the chart, it makes sure that your brain understands what you are seeing at that given moment. You can even talk, okay, I think there is enough confidence about because of this, because of that. Now I will enter. I will put my stop here and I will put my TP here. And that's how it will be for now. And then you leave and you'll see the outcome later. I would strongly recommend you to have a limit of losses per day you can do, because this for me, it's very easy. As I have 2 losses per day max, I have only 2 trades to do unless I split the position. And for me, it's very easy to know that, okay, if I lose 2 times, whatever, I will see tomorrow. And then I'm able to let it go better. I will round off for this lecture and I will meet you in the next lecture where we will go again in different topics, but deeper. And also I will mention more about things I've mentioned here, but I like to explore and try to see if any of those points at least helped you a little.